watching WALA, Fox 10.
Good day, everybody. I'm Don Davis.
And I'm Amy Thompson. Glad to be with you on this Tuesday morning, October the 6th, 1998. Good day, Gulf Coast. You're looking at a live picture there of Mobile's brand new hands-on museum, the Exploreum Science Museum, part of the wonderful IMAX Dome Theater complex here at the foot of Government and Water Streets. Good day to you, everybody.
Yeah, good day. And we are so glad to be here, downtown Mobile, a brand new, incredible facility that as you're waking up this morning, you're going to get your first look inside, and you don't want to miss what we're going to be showing you over the next 2 hours.
It's a spectacular place. We're going to be telling you all about the dinosaur exhibit that's here. T-Rex. You know, Daughtry said if he were a dinosaur, he'd be a T-Rex. So we will name this for the memory of him.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Dino
We've also
Dave.
got some hats. Everest, the IMAX movie is incredible.
Everyone's
we'll
talking about this one, too.
That. A lot of giveaways. So when you see the 800 number during the next couple of hours, dial it, be caller number 10 to say good day Gulf Coast, and you'll win some really cool stuff. Also, the Lost World premiere party, a Fox 10 exclusive. We've got new details on our brand new contest coming up, and you don't want to miss that either. We've got some great stuff. Can you hear the music?
Sure can. I like that. It's going to be great. Also, don't forget that, again, like you mentioned, the IMAX merchandise. We've got some fun stuff for you, some hats and dinos that you can win.
And also, I think the screen's going to say Dino Don. Actually, Dino Don has a kidney stone, and we just found that a few moments ago. We hope that... Oh,
I'm sorry.
Hang on tight.
Chairs are fine. Chairs are
Jurassic Park is a wild ride. Of course, we all know that. And Dino Don is not going to be here.
They just unpacked this chair out of the box, so maybe it wasn't quite bolted down correctly.
You need to kind of break it in a little bit. Anyway, still a lot to get to.
I thought you were Dino Don.
Some people may think that, but...
Yeah. We're also going to check in with Veronica Griffin. She's over at the Hands-On Museum this morning, and she's going to be having a lot of fun as well.
You're seeing there, though, video from the movie Everest. It is a phenomenal story of courage and tragedy. The Mountain Everest, the movie, takes us to the summit, and it premieres this week at Mobile's new IMAX Dome Theater. Oh,
I will also take you behind the lens for a look at this $1.2 million IMAX projector.
And we will head into the jaws of the dinos straight from the Lost World to the Port City. Veronica? Hey, Veronica, good morning.
Good morning, Don and Amy. Who said learning about science couldn't be fun? We'll show you how in a hands-on kind of way.
All right, looks
Sounds
pretty cool.
Great. We will continue our special sneak peek here inside of the brand new IMAX coming up in just a moment.
But first, we want to send it back down to 210 Government Street to our own Dave Daughtry, Mr. T-Rex himself. Good day.
All right, Dino Don, thanks a million.
All right.
In the news, no big surprises on Capitol Hill Monday as a Republican-controlled House Judiciary Committee votes to launch an open-ended impeachment inquiry of President Clinton. Here's the latest. Here's what's happening. The full House will now receive the vote. It's expected to approve it before the end of the week. Once that happens, President Clinton will be the third president to face formal impeachment proceedings. GOP leadership say it's found 15 possible reasons for removing this president from office. Monday's vote strictly along party lines. All 21 Republicans for the inquiry, all 16 Democrats opposed. Meantime, the president has his mind focused elsewhere. Monday, he speaks at a fundraiser, raking in more than $1 million for fellow Democrats. The scare is over this morning, fortunately, at a Pascagoula, Mississippi gas plant. Monday, a gas line caught fire, igniting 2 nearby propane tanks. Thousands ordered to evacuate this morning. Fortunately, all is clear. Pascagoula police tell Fox 10 firemen extinguished the flames just after midnight. Officials tell us this drama started early Monday afternoon at the Blossman Gas Company in Pascagoula. Investigators say either a valve or gas line ruptured while workers were transferring gas to portable holders. The leak caused 2 30,000-gallon propane tanks to erupt into fireballs. At times, the flames shot 40 to 50 feet into the air. As the fire worsened, an evacuation plan went into action. Nearly 2,000 people ordered to leave the area. They are now free to return home. Fortunately, firefighters were able to cool the 2 tanks, thus preventing an explosion. 4 firemen injured during the battle with the flames. 2 were treated and released from the hospital. We have no word at the moment on the conditions of the other 2. Hurricane George, a thing of the past, but still making news this morning. Thousands of storm victims in desperate need of relief. Local and federal agencies now trying to make their travel down the road to recovery a lot smoother And if you think you qualify for disaster relief, here are a few numbers you can call. To apply for federal aid by phone, contact the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, at 1-800-462-9029. Operators ask that you bring pictures of the damage, bills, receipts, and medical information when you come in to meet with FEMA officials. Several Red Cross centers in the Mobile and Baldwin County areas open to help storm victims. People can talk with Red Cross workers to get immediate assistance in the way of food, clothing, and rent. Centers are set up at the Operating Engineers Union Hall on Spring Hill Avenue, the Biola Battery Community Civic Center on Paget Switch Road, and the American Legion Post 99 on South McKenzie Street. Also, providing temporary assistance, the Creekwood Church of Christ in the 1900 block of Schellinger Road. Volunteers tell us they have run out of baby supplies, but they do have about 100 boxes of food left. Each box feeds a family of 6 for 1 week. If you need food and supplies, you can stop by Creekwood Church of Christ at 1901 Schellinger Road. The church will open weekdays from 9 to 5 p.m. Supplies are limited to 1 box for family. The future of the 2 largest economies in the world are being discussed right here in the port city. The 23rd Annual Southeast U.S.-Japan Conference underway, with more than 600 delegates exploring ways to increase trade and economic development between that Asian country and 7 southern states. Carrol Hunter explains why the Japanese connection is more important than ever.
The 35 Japanese plants in Alabama have invested more than $2 billion in the state and created more than 8,000 jobs. Other southeastern states have enjoyed similar economic benefit, and their governors say the relationship with Japan has created opportunities that did not before exist.
We are still the poorest area in America. People with limited opportunities, not enough jobs. The jobs aren't spread out around our states like they need to be. And I can't tell you the number of Japanese plants that have gone into rural and undeveloped areas of our states.
But the Asian financial crisis has many wondering about future Japanese investment. Mobile County is home to 3 Mitsubishi plants. The newest is the polysilicon plant in Theodore. Economic concerns back home have already delayed an expansion here.
Originally, we have a plan to expand, because of the change of the situation, the schedule is behind, but we are sure in the future we can expand.
But Japanese investment in America is only half the U.S.-Japan equation. Trade is the other half. Alabama alone exports more than $734 million in raw materials and finished products to Japan, much of it from right here at the state docks. So economic problems over there are cause for concern here. But Kawakita says Japan will solve its economic problems given enough time.
We can solve the problems finally, and I am optimistic about it. It takes some more time, but eventually we can solve the problems.
Former Secretary of State James Baker told the delegates that neither region can afford to neglect the other. The 600 folks gathered here take that message seriously. In Mobile, Carrol Hunter, Fox 10 Action News.
The conference wraps up today, but several Japanese delegates are expected to stick around a few more days to explore development opportunities around the state. And now let's head back down to the foot of Government Street, where the dinosaurs have invaded the port city. Amy Thompson just may be a damsel in distress, although I doubt it seriously. Good day, Amy.
Good day, Dave. No distress here, not to worry. We are here at the beautiful brand new Exploreum in IMAX, where science indeed has finally taken shape. It's a $20 million investment in downtown Mobile. We've talked a lot about the potential payoff from this, higher SAT scores, future scientists in the making here in Mobile. But also when it comes to downtown redevelopment, this may be the truly shiniest pearl of all in this string of pearls. And here to talk about that this morning is a man who certainly knows a lot about that. It's Al St. Clair, once and future director of the Downtown Redevelopment Commission. Al, it's good to have you back. You were director for so many years. You went on a hiatus for a while, and now you're back at Downtown Redevelopment.
Well, it's good to be back. It's too exciting to leave. You've been with us as long as
we go way back.
I don't want to date you, but it's been 9 years.
Well, I'm thinking about just this side, especially standing here for so many years, where it's just an empty lot or the police building. And what does it mean to finally have this, to have the IMAX open?
Well, this is a wonderful facility for so many reasons, and of course, it's a major project in the whole downtown plan. which we envisioned as taking 15 to 20 years, and here we are at year 9 and realizing this. And as you've already pointed out, it's not only magnificent for the people of Mobile, it's magnificent for the visitors, and it's certainly high quality, which is what we want to do with every project that we have.
You wanted to make sure that this investment, again, was something that would not just be for the outside world, for the tourists, which was important, but also for the locals. You think, and you feel like you've satisfied that?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, this fits all the criteria because it's a good thing for the children, as well as the adults and senior citizens and the visitors. But we want anything we do downtown to be good for the people of Mobile as well as for the visitors who come here.
I know they were telling me they've already got about 11,000 school kids booked to come through this thing. The tours are going to be just constant. What do you expect as far as numbers, and what do you think this will generate for tourism overall?
Well, I think if I remember correctly, looking at the projections, they expect 300,000 visitors the first year. And that's certainly wonderful. And of course, once the visitors get here, we now have enough things going on and events that we can keep a lot of them overnight. And the important thing is not just to get them here for the day, but to have them here overnight.
They can spend some time.
Spend some time and spend some money.
And again, you talk about just energy. The town, Mobile, has really had a lot of energy with this project and so many other things going on downtown. You now have got other developers calling you, which has definitely been a change of
right,
of role
as you know, we've chased developers all over the country and actually literally twisted their arms to come here and look at what we have. And now all of a sudden, you know, to I guess be trite, the snowball's kind of at the top of the hill, and it's
Speaking of Everest.
That's right. That's right. That's appropriate. But no, we have people calling us. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of interest in the waterfront. And there's a lot of interest in the downtown in general.
And this helps to refocus again attention to the waterfront, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It certainly does. You know, I'm not originally from here, and I never really thought that much about it. But Mobilians, for the first time, have a real place on the riverfront. They never have before, other than that little space at the foot of Government Street.
You've got Cooper Riverside Park, you've got our convention center, which some hopefully have come to know and enjoy, and also future plans with the Maritime Complex as well, the cruise ship terminal.
The Maritime Center of the Gulf is certainly going to be a major project, and you know, we have a working waterfront. The people who live here don't appreciate that, but if you're from Kansas or Nebraska or someplace like that, it's fascinating to come here and actually watch the riverfront at work.
Oh, it is. And you're going to be here opening night, no doubt.
Absolutely.
All right. It's exciting to be here, isn't it? It's a beautiful place.
It really is. We'll have more for you in the future.
All right. We will look forward to that. Al St. Clair, good to have you back at Downtown Redevelopment, and good to be here in this building. And again, when those folks do come, they'll be seeing not only the wonderful Exploreum Science Museum, but of course the fabulous new IMAX theater and its debut film, Everest. A lot of folks have seen this, have heard about it, they're talking about it. It's an incredible, it's a really dynamic movie. Again, talking about the amazing trip, that fatal adventure a couple of years ago when 8 climbers died trying to reach the summit of Everest. It is a magnificent film. It's one of the most talked about IMAX films, and I think we have some video we can roll for you of that, showing you a little bit of what to expect. We'll talk about that coming up later on. We'll show you the video of Everest. It is a magnificent movie, and we'll talk about this incredible projector that puts it on the screen too. For now, let's send it over to Don over in the Hands-On Museum and see what he's gotten into. Don?
All right, thanks a lot, Amy. This place back here really is fascinating. We're in the permanent exhibit area, the hands-on section, where the kids can come back here, and I'm sure a lot of adults too, and play around and actually learn something. And that's the mission here. It's a science museum, and they want people to walk away and gain something from this experience and learn something. Right now, we can tell you about the forecast, and we can teach you about the rainfall out there this morning. Not a whole lot happening on our storm tracker. It is awfully dry. In fact, dry as can be. This time yesterday morning, we had a lot of rain showers in the area, especially downtown Mobile, downtown Pensacola. Those rain showers not showing up today, thank goodness. As we look at the forecast for today, we are looking for a few clouds in some areas mixed with sunshine. Your typical late summer, early fall forecast for you, 30% chance of rain. Temperatures today will range from 82 to about 88 degrees with a southeast wind, and that southeast wind is going to be key today and tonight to really tapping that Gulf moisture and giving us those chance of isolated showers. Again tonight, mostly cloudy, about a 40% chance of rain, and then next couple of days. Maybe soggy through Wednesday here and there with hit and miss showers. The northern portion of the viewing area, Monroeville, Claiborne, on into Bruton, East Bruton, Jackson, places like that. You'll probably stay drier than the coastal areas like Alberta and to, say, Theodore, even Pascagoula, Biloxi, and Mobile. So keep that in mind. We will have much, much more coming to you live from downtown Mobile at the intersection of Water Street and Government, the brand new Gulf Coast Exploreum Museum of Science and IMAX Dome Theater. Stay with us, everybody. This is Good Day Gulf Coast.
Pack may be back, but the Vikings are for real.
Are they ever? I mean, their offense is explosive.
Awesome.
They're gonna be lethal this year. Got to watch out for the Vikes. All right, the 4-0 Minnesota Vikings met head-to-head against the 4-0 Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field for Monday Night Football. The Packers have won 30 consecutive home games, one shy of the NFL record. The Vikes not only are perfect through the regular season, they were also 4-0 in the preseason. Something would have to give. Early in the second quarter, tied at 3, Randall Cunningham finds Jake Reed for the 56-yard touchdown, 10-3 Vikes. But the Pack would strike back on an ensuing kickoff, going 101 yards for the TD to tie it. But Randall gets tired of that real quick, so he hooks up with the Moss Man. No, not that He-Man action figure you used to play with as a kid. Randy Moss for the 52-yard touchdown. Cunningham had 442 yards to go along with 4 TDs. All Vikes, 37-24. They snapped the Pack's home win streak and remain undefeated at 5-0. And Big D quarterback Troy Aikman will watch his Dallas Cowboys play the Carolina Panthers this Sunday from the sidelines. Aikman's been healing his collarbone, which he separated in week 2. The boys will go with backup Jason Garrett in Aikman's place. Another quarterback who may watch from the sidelines is Oakland Raiders QB Jeff George. George is tending a groin injury in last Sunday's game against Phoenix. Team doctors say he is questionable for next week's game. It looks like the NBA boys may never play. Well, at least not anytime soon. The entire NBA exhibition season is canceled. Talks between the league and the players are going nowhere, and the league says they'll decide next week if they'll have to cancel the regular season as well. To baseball, the National League Championship begins Wednesday night between the San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves in ATL. For the Braves, winning will be easy. Get it, Pod ace Kevin Brown. They also think they can shut down the Pod's big bats.
Not a lot you can do. Just hope he makes a couple mistakes over the middle of the plate and some guys make him pay for it. He's awfully nasty. He's one of the toughest competitors, you know, in the National League as well. So it's going to be a tall task, but you know, we're playing well right now, and we got to be up to it.
They're a club that's not going to miss too many mistakes. Houston pitched them extremely well, and the only frustrating thing for me is they shut them down. And you'd like to think that they're going to, you know, it's hard to shut a team down for a long period of time. So I'm going to have to make a lot of good pitches. I don't think shutouts or 1 or 2 runs, you know, you just have to limit the amount of runs that they can give, that they could possibly maximize.
Only here can you watch the Cleveland Indians face the Yankees for Game 1 of the American League Championship in Uptown. The Tribe keeping their starting pitching on the DL, or down low if you didn't know that. But for the Bronx Bombers, no secret. They'll go with David Wells.
And I know I had mentioned this before, but I've complimented him on some games. They didn't necessarily get a decision because of the way he kept us in the game for 6, 7, 8 innings. I just think he's a tougher pitcher right now.
I think the key to any game is go out there and get ahead in the count. And I think that's what we proved with Texas. We went out there, we threw strikes and made things happen. And you know, they could be beat. Anybody can be beat. But I think that for us, we just got to pitch to their weakness.
Did you know what DL was?
Designated loser. I've heard of designated pitcher. What's the DL?
DH is a designated hitter.
Designated hitter, yeah.
DL is down low.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Learn something new every day. Well, we're going to have more news coming up in just a few minutes as Good Day Gulf Coast continues, and we'll also go back inside the IMAX and the Don and Amy coming up, so stay with us.
right, welcome back, everybody, to Good Day Gulf Coast. We are coming to you live from downtown Mobile, the intersection of Water and Government Street.
Yeah, it's a wonderful location here. We're talking about the brand new Gulf Coast Exploreum Science Museum and IMAX Dome Theater. Let me explain what's behind that here. John and I were just talking that a lot of folks may not realize you've got the separate wonderful IMAX Dome Theater that's debuting Everest. Just to the side of it, which is part of the same complex. You've got inside the old Matt Sloan Fire Station the hands-on Exploreum
and that's
Science
the permanent
Museum.
area. Those exhibits will always be there, so every time you come, that'll be a consistent. And where we are will be traveling exhibits. And the first up is the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park.
They're fantastic too. A lot of talk about this. And if you drove down Water Street recently, right after the hurricane, you saw the dinos peeking out of the windows. Yeah, they are kind of scary. Got the big brontosaurus here behind us, and we're going to take you on back here to the back and show you some of the other ones. Again, these are all the actual. These are not models. These were actually the dinosaurs that were used on film in the movie Jurassic Park and also The Lost World.
Can you remember the first time you saw that movie?
Actually, yeah. I think
pretty
I
scary,
I saw it on TV for the first time. Mike Sullivan here is the executive director of this wonderful place. Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. Welcome.
Thanks for inviting us in. We appreciate it.
Dinos are pretty impressive.
Oh, aren't they?
Tell us a little bit about this exhibit. I know that it was in Fort Worth recently, and you had more than 250,000 people that came to see it. It made about $81 million. What's the real draw here? What are we seeing?
Well, first of all, this exhibit has toured other science museums around the country. Our exhibit starts up on the second floor, where you see what I call the skeleton hall. And there you see sort of what we really know about the science of the dinosaurs. Down here is sort of part of the film. And this is sort of what you take the dinosaurs, and the paleontologists have told us what the colors should be and what the behavior should be and so forth.
Let's go ahead and let the camera kind of pan off. Ted's doing that and kind of showing what's here.
And these were in the movie, correct? The dinosaurs downstairs are from The Lost World and Jurassic Park.
Now, this is sort of the fantasy hall. This is all part of the movie. Upstairs, of course, again, is part of the science. And we're here at the Science Museum very interested in the science.
What are the kids going to be able to do upstairs in the science realm? I understand they can learn extensively about all kinds of dinosaurs and maybe dig for some bones at the same time. Tell me about that.
That's right. I think for the smaller children, we'll have a sand pit. And we want them to sort of go in and dig into the sand and find out, a bone, a skull, or a leg bone or something like that.
Indiana Jones there. I like that.
And then they could turn around and look around the hall and try to find where this bone belongs to, what kind of dinosaur it belongs to.
So there's a real hard science angle to this. It's not just all fun and Hollywood and Showtime.
Well, at least upstairs is our science part. Down here, I think we sort of, you take that science, you take those bones, and the paleontologists have tried to determine what the behavior may be. Of course, we have upstairs meat eaters and plant eaters and so forth. But down here, we sort of divide those types of dinosaurs into categories. And of course, we have our friend T-Rex there on the wall.
It's a pretty mean-looking guy there.
I was impressed by the Velociraptor over here. I remember this vividly from, I guess, what was it, Lost World or
both
Jurassic
of the movies.
Park? Yeah,
some
both
of the scariest scenes.
And interesting to note, you said that the actual dinosaurs in real life, or way back, were very small, that Spielberg kind of amplified the size for effect.
That's
Hollywood.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. Basically, he's made some of the dinosaurs larger than they actually were because, of course, they play better on the big screen.
Well, they play well here, too. Thanks for the description. And, Mike, we'll be talking with you later as we go inside the theater. And I'm impressed.
It's very impressive. A lot of stuff here for the kids to do. And, again, this is a traveling exhibit space we were talking earlier. And Veronica Griffin, in just a few minutes, will join us in the hands-on area where the permanent exhibits are. And I was down there doing the weather a few moments ago. It's hard not to start pushing the buttons and turning the knobs. There's
I had a
lot
feeling
to
you
do
were getting
down
into
there.
some trouble in there. I had no doubt about it, Don.
Yes.
So we'll check in with the hands-on museum coming up. But first, you're watching Good Day Gulf Coast.
Good day, Gulf Coast. I'm Veronica Griffin, live at the Exploreum Museum of Science in Hands-On Hall. Now I'm joined by Charlie Shaw, who's one of the designers of some of the exhibits here. Charlie, let's just jump in. Tell us a little bit about this exhibit.
Well, this is our laser harp, and it is an exhibit that is
a regular harp, and the strings have been replaced with lasers. It's very interactive. The visitor can make music in a way that they've never made it before.
I understand there's a button you can push and you can get different...
Yeah, it produces 8 different distinct sets of sounds.
Great. Okay, tell us a little bit about the overall exhibits here.
Well, these exhibits are highly interactive, unlike what we might be used to in a science museum, in that each exhibit has a visitor-determined outcome as opposed to just being a push button.
Okay, this exhibit right here, explain this one to me. What's going on here?
Well, this is called our hot plates, and it's a platform that allows you to experiment with the phenomena and properties of magnets. And the visitor can place different items on the little work surface here, and by adjusting these controls, they can change the magnetic field, which will animate the object in different ways. This is a good exhibit for preschoolers up to graduate engineers.
Okay, what are they supposed to experience here?
Well, these controls allow you to change the strength of the magnets, the rate at which they change, and the pattern that they change. And by doing that, it actually moves this object. So you get some real concrete visual feedback as to what the magnets are doing, and that's a fantastic way to learn about them.
Sort of a hands-on magnetic experience.
Hands-on is it.
In fact, I feel a magnetic pull to a commercial. Good Day Gulf Coast will continue in just a moment.
And welcome back, everybody. We continue our live coverage here in downtown Mobile at the brand new Gulf Coast Exploreum Museum of Science and IMAX Dome Theater. We're going to talk about the forecast for just a few moments here. A lot of you may be ready to head out the door and want to know what to expect. We have some light fog in patches out there, so be careful if you're trying to make a morning commute. You may run into some of that. Fortunately, no rain like we had yesterday. Things are much, much drier. As we look around the region, we are expecting temperatures today to top out pretty much in the mid-80s, much like yesterday. Anywhere from, say, 82 or 83 on up there to 85 or 86 degrees. Your rain chance about 30%. In Castleberry, maybe a little bit warmer at 88, and Atmore about 87. And again, only a 30% chance of rain yesterday to compare at about a 60% chance. Let's go ahead and take a look at Storm Track 10 and show you the rainfall conditions around the area. Again, we are high and dry. Fortunately, no rain anywhere. We don't need it, and thank goodness I don't think much of us, or many of us rather, will see much of it for today. Your forecast calls for some clouds at times, but sunshine mixed in with that. That morning fog should burn off around, say, about 9 or 9:30 this morning. Again, your rain chance 30%. High temperatures will range from 82 to 88 degrees with a southeast wind at 5 to 10. The southeast wind will continue throughout the evening hours. It will be mostly cloudy tonight with about a 40% chance of rainfall, and tomorrow a pretty good chance of rain as well, but then clearing up just in time for the weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, many of you out there may be still cleaning up after the mess that Hurricane George left behind, and you should have a pretty good weekend to do that. The only problem is going to be awfully warm with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, and during the nighttime hours will be in the 60s, lower 70s, depending on which day. So really not a bad forecast. A few sprinkles today possibly, and tomorrow a few isolated showers, and after that it's not going to feel like fall. Unfortunately, it's going to be very, very warm. We are proud to announce a brand new contest, and we've got Charlene Patterson joining us now from the Exploreum Museum of Science. Good morning.
How are you today?
Doing great.
Good.
Thanks for letting us come in. You have a spectacular place.
Thank you. We're proud of it.
I bet you are. Tell us about the Lost World premiere party. Fox 10, the Exploreum teaming up for this great event.
I know. We're real excited about having everybody here, and we're going to have lots of prizes, and then the payoff is a wonderful premiere party that we're going to have right here in this hall for about 90 people. So they'll get to see the movie on a big screen in a wonderful place. So it should be real exciting.
It should be a lot of fun. We do want to encourage folks to go ahead and start sending in postcards to Fox 10 and on Good Day Gulf Coast over the next several weeks. We're going to be drawing some names, giving away some prizes. But then I believe on the 28th or 29th, we're going to select 3 grand prize winners, the ones you were talking about. They'll get to select 30 friends to come to the Exploreum to watch The Lost World on HDTV.
I know, and it's going to be like Hollywood with a great premiere, and it's a wonderful surrounding, and it should make it real special.
It should. We appreciate the details, and we'll check back with you a little bit later. And we're going to show you our address. We, again, want you to go ahead and send us a postcard. There's the address, Good Day Gulf Coast, P.O. Box 1548, Mobile, Alabama 36633. The contest is the Lost World Premiere Party. It is only on Fox 10. Fox Network, of course, premiering The Lost World on November 1st. You and 30 of your closest friends can fill this place with a great prize package, HD TV, you name it, even some food, I understand. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stay with us, everybody. Much, much more to come here on Good Day Gulf Coast.
Good morning. The 4-0 Minnesota Vikings met head-to-head against the 4-0 Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field for Monday Night Football. The Packers have won 30 consecutive home games, one shy of an NFL record. The Vikings not only are perfect through the regular season, they were also 4-0 in the preseason. Someone would have to give. Early in the second quarter, tied at 3, Randall Cunningham finds Jake Reed for the 56-yard touchdown. The Vikes go up 10-3. The Pack would tie it off the kickoff return for 101 yards, but Randall Cunningham gets tired of that real quick, so he hooks up with Randy Moss. The rookie is phenomenal this year. He goes for the 52-yard touchdown. Cunningham had 442 yards to go along with 4 TDs. The Vikes win 37-24 and snap the Pack's home win streak. The National League Championship begins Wednesday night between the San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves in ATL. The Braves, it'll be easy for them to win if they get at Pod Kevin Brown. They also think they can shut down the Pod's big bats.
Not a lot you can do. Just hope he makes a couple mistakes over the middle of the plate and some guys make him pay for it. He's awfully nasty. He's one of the toughest competitors, in the National League as well. So it's going to be a tall task, but we're playing well right now, and we got to be up to it.
They're a club that's not going to miss too many mistakes. Houston pitched them extremely well, and the only frustrating thing for me is they shut them down, and you'd like to think that they're going to, it's hard to shut a team down for a long period of time. So I'm going to have to make a lot of good pitches. I don't think shutouts or 1 or 2 runs, you just have to limit the amount of runs that they can give, that they could possibly maximize.
Only here can you watch the Cleveland Indians face the Yankees for Game 1 of the American League Championship in Uptown. The Tribe keeping their starting pitching on the DL, or the down low if you didn't know that. But for the Bronx Bombers, no secret. They'll go with David Wells.
And I know I had mentioned this before, but I've complimented him on some games they didn't necessarily get a decision because of the way he kept us in the game for 6, 7, 8 innings. I just think he's a tougher pitcher right now.
I think the key to any game is go out there and get ahead in the count. And I think that's what we proved with Texas. We went out there, we threw strikes and made things happen. And they could be beat. Anybody can be beat. But I think that for us, we just got to pitch to their weakness.
All right, game time is at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here, Don, ready to go inside the theater.
Yeah, we are. And this will be the same experience you get at home. Well, not at home, but here. We just want to show it to you at home. There's a long hallway that takes you straight into the theater.
Yeah.
And,
tickets are they run a range of different prices, $75 for a family membership for a full year. I understand the opening night gala, October the 10th, is already sold out.
It's going to be spectacular. And a family of 4, $36, a great way to spend the evening. So, not a bad price here as far as that is concerned.
And you walk in here and you arrive inside the fabulous big IMAX domed theater. It is a spectacular sight. And
it really is.
Here's the director, the consultant who helped put all this together. And you have helped, Mike Sullivan, you have put together now 58 of these theaters around the world, haven't you?
Yes, as a consultant in one form or another, yeah.
What about the domes? I know there are a lot of flat screens around the world and the country here, but to have a dome theater like this, how unusual is that?
Well, about 50% of the theaters in the United States are domes. Most of those are in museums. The flat screens tend to be commercial theaters. They're a little less expensive to build and less expensive to operate.
And Mike, the whole IMAX concept, I understand, developed in the late 60s in Canada. But the first IMAX theater was where and when?
The first IMAX theater was in the World Fair in Osaka in Japan in 1970.
That's a long time ago.
And the first one in this country was?
In San Diego, and that was 3 years later.
And you worked on that, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I was the director of the San Diego Hall of Science.
And Mike worked so hard here on this theater that Mobile has kept him. You're now calling Mobile home, and you're now the permanent executive director. This is such a different experience. I have seen Everest on a flat screen in Sydney, which I think is, they call it the tallest IMAX screen anywhere. How is the dome completely different and tougher to build, I can imagine, too?
Well, it is. One of the reasons they're more expensive is because, of course, you have curved walls and it is just more expensive construction. Now, the film plays very, very well on the dome, particularly Everest. So you really feel you're part of the action with the dome.
I guess I've got to ask all the guy questions. As far as speakers and sound system and all that, what are we going to be able to hear?
Oh, we got an incredible sound system in here. In fact, it's state-of-the-art. We have a very fine digital playback system. In fact, it's the second generation of that system that we've installed here. There's only 3 others in the world.
And the chairs, I don't know if we can show the chairs in the area here too as well.
177?
They look very comfortable.
Sure do.
They are. They're a little too comfortable at times. We don't want anybody falling asleep here, but basically...
You really kind of recline in these too, don't you?
Yes, you do. You lean back because you want everybody to look up into the screen. The center of action actually is quite a ways above us.
Of course, opening with Everest, and I know there are a lot more IMAX movies that are out there. What else can we expect as far as the big names and movies after Everest is played out?
Well, basically, we'd like to go to a space film. One of the great films in this format are photographed by the astronaut. There's a generation of 4 of those films. And we'd like, I think, to go next to Mission to Mir, which is just a terrific film on the Mir space station and sort of the collaboration between the USS and the old Russian space efforts, the old Soviet Union.
How often will these films change?
I think they'll change. It depends on how they do. In other words, we're not promising we'll change a film, but I would imagine every 3 or 4 months we'll change. I'd like to have at least 3 films in here a year, and we'd like to change the exhibits the same amount of time. And so maybe we'll have a film change and an exhibit change. So I'd like it to be every 2 months, something new
fresh to see
at the Exploreum.
And we do want to tell folks that may have seen Everest on a flat screen before that
you're
looking at the movie on the flat screen, but with the dome you are in the movie. Is that correct?
That's right. You want to be part of the action with the IMAX dome experience.
Which with a movie like Everest can really change your perception completely. Mike Sullivan, it's a dynamic theater. It's exciting to see it here finished.
It is spectacular.
Looks great. Good work. All right.
Thank you.
Where's your seat?
My seat's right up there.
On the back
center
row?
of the theater.
Okay, in the center at the top.
All right,
Good
thanks
place
a lot.
to be.
Much more to come, everybody. We will continue taking you inside here on our sneak peek tour of the fabulous new IMAX theater as Good Day Gulf Coast continues right after this. Stay with us. Don, here we are. I tell you, people are going to be coming in just a matter of days now and taking a seat. What do you think?
It's really a beautiful theater. 177 seats, and step in the row here. These seats are.
I'd like to find a seat here. You know, a lot of folks, a lot of these seats were sold for $1,000 each. So a lot of these are corporate backed. And I don't know. I kind of like this one right here, right in the middle. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a great seat because you can look straight up. Can you hear the echo? I don't know if you can at home or not.
I feel like I'm on top of Mount Everest.
Yeah, great spectacular screen. And next hour, we're going to be talking more about the dinosaurs. We'll be back at the hands-on exhibit one more time, and we'll also have more on the projection system that puts the image up on the screen above your head.
Pretty remarkable. Close to $2 million. The whole system that puts this together.
It is a phenomenal machine.
People are going to be very, very impressed. Mobile is going to be very excited and very proud, I think, of its new IMAX theater and the Exploreum too. We'll continue our tour here inside, our sneak peek tour, when Good Day Gulf Coast continues right after this.
You're watching WALA, Fox 10.
And good day again, everybody. I'm Don Davis.
I'm Amy Thompson. Glad to be waking up with you on this Tuesday morning. It's October the 6th, 1998, and we're talking Everest and dinos and all kinds of good stuff.
Of the dinosaur.
Can you name that one?
This is a Stegosaurus.
All right,
you
read
no,
the label.
I may be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. Stegosaurus, I think, has a different one. It has the little humps in the back. We're learning a lot about dinosaurs, by the way, and you will too, down here at the brand new Gulf Coast Science Museum, Exploreum, and IMAX Dome Theater. I'm going to get that right.
It's a great place. We've been running all over it this morning, and we've got a lot more to show you within the next hour as well. Speaking of that theater, Mobile, now home to a state-of-the-art IMAX, as we were telling you, the big machine costing, I believe, nearly $2 million.
Between $1 and $2 million.
$1 and $2 million. You won't believe what it can do. It is a phenomenal piece of equipment.
Also, of course, the grand opening will not be delayed by the hurricane. Don't worry. It's set for October 10th. It's been a long journey to get to where we are today. No question. Millions of dollars, tons of concrete, and countless hours of planning all come together now at the close of this week. We will take a look back at the past 11 years. Veronica?
Good morning, Amy. I'm here in Hands-On Hall, where kids are getting a hands-on experience and a fun way to learn about science. Don, Amy?
All right. It's a great place.
I have
back
not
here
been
at
in
the
there yet.
Hands-On.
I can't wait to see it.
I've been running back and down that hall a couple of times this morning, and there's a lot of.
You've been pushing buttons and stuff.
I know I pushed a few that I shouldn't have. I think I got myself in trouble. But anyway, we've got a lot more to get to in the next hour. But right now, we're going to send it back to 210 Government Street, about 2 blocks away from us, and Dave Daughtry.
Hey, Dave.
Hello, Amy. Don, by the way, I've seen the film Everest. It is spectacular.
Isn't it phenomenal?
Yes, it certainly is. Wonderful scenery and well worth your time, so go to see it when you have a chance.
All right.
Well, here's what's happening in the news. Should President Clinton be impeached? This morning, Congress one step closer to answering that question. Here is the latest. Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee pushed through a plan for an open-ended impeachment inquiry of President Clinton. GOP leadership says it's found 15 possible reasons for removing the president from office. Monday night's historic vote, strictly along party lines, is expected. All 21 Republicans for and all 16 Democrats no. If the full House also calls for an inquiry, which could happen later this week, Bill Clinton would be the third president in American history to face the threat of formal impeachment proceedings. Fox's Rita Cosby has the latest from Washington.
Be a formal inquiry under Watergate-style rules, unlimited in scope and length. All the Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee voted in favor of it. All the Democrats opposed it. Still, it has passed to the next step.
The resolution is ordered reported.
The historic late-night vote was split along party lines as expected, with the Republican-led Judiciary Committee voting 21 to 16, enough to approve launching an impeachment inquiry of President Clinton.
Today hasn't been a good day for the Judiciary Committee and for the House of Representatives.
Democrats proposed several unsuccessful amendments which would have limited the time and scope of the investigation. The Republican plan allows for an open-ended inquiry that focuses on issues beyond the Lewinsky matter. Democrats voiced their anger after the vote.
I dare say that if there is material that hasn't come to our attention as of today, when we took this vote of significant constitutional importance, then Mr. Starr has insulted the United States Congress and has insulted the American people.
The vote followed an intensely partisan day full of heated debate. Republicans called the president's actions deplorable. Democrats said they don't rise to the level of impeachment.
The president had an affair. He lied about it. He didn't want anyone to know about it. Does anyone reasonably believe that this amounts to subversion of government?
The chief investigator for the committee, Republicans, dropped some of the independent counsel's original 11 counts, including that the president abused power with claims of privilege to block his aides from testifying. But the investigator also added charges that the president orchestrated a cover-up conspiracy and failed to report crimes to others. He presented what he says are now 15 potentially impeachable offenses. On Thursday, the full House of Representatives will vote on the inquiry. It is expected to be approved. That will make Bill Clinton only the third president in American history to be subjected to the threat of possible impeachment proceedings. In Washington, Rita Cosby, Fox News.
And making local headlines this Tuesday morning, thousands in Mississippi are heading back home after a gas fire forced them to evacuate Monday. Investigators say it happened just after noon at the Blossman Gas Company in Pascagoula. That's when they believe either a ruptured valve or a gas line caused these two 30,000-gallon propane tanks to burst into flames. Witnesses say at times the flames shot 40 to 50 feet into the air. 4 workers injured in the fire. They were taken to a local hospital, treated for first and second degree burns. As the fire continued to grow, rescue workers set out getting some 2,000 people out of nearby homes and businesses in case of an explosion. But after burning for some 12 hours, firefighters were able to put out the fire shortly after midnight. Federal investigators are searching for information in solving an apparent drive-by shooting, and now they're asking for our help. Last month, Vivian Brown found shot to death outside her Lexington Avenue home. Just weeks before, Brown had testified against MacArthur Thomas in federal court, testimony that led to his conviction on several drug charges. Thomas was still in police custody at the time of the murder, but investigators believe the shooting was in retaliation for her testimony, and she was about ready to testify in yet another federal drug case, the FBI's Bill Imfield.
In drug investigations, rewards are often offered, and many times they go unpublished because the information is relayed and related without any kind of incident happening. But in this case, we've had a federal witness who was murdered, and we're publicly announcing the reward, and specifically, hopefully, a dollar amount that will induce the people that have the necessary information to come forward.
There's up to a $20,000 reward being offered for information in this case. If you know who killed Vivian Brown, call the number you'll see on the screen at 1-800-363-3985. That's 1-800-363-3985. The high winds and heavy rains of Hurricane George, a thing of the past this morning. Thousands of storm victims continue to rebuild their lives. Local and federal agencies trying to make their travel down that road to a recovery a bit smoother. And if you think you qualify for disaster relief, we have a few numbers for you to call. To apply for federal aid by telephone, contact the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, at 1-800-462-9029. Operators ask that you bring pictures of the damage, bills, receipts, medical information when you come in to meet with FEMA officials. Several Red Cross centers in Mobile and Baldwin County areas open to help storm victims. Centers set up at the Operating Engineers Union Hall on Spring Hill Avenue, the Biola Battery Community Civic Center on Paget Switch Road, and the American Legion Post 99 on South McKenzie Street. Amy Thompson, our Dino hunters this morning, she and Don, we find them live in downtown Mobile at the new Gulf Coast Exploreum Museum on Science and IMAX Dome. And a good day to all of you, and to Don and Amy.
Good day, Dave. And we have indeed found the dinosaurs, just one of the many attractions down here at the new Exploreum and IMAX Theater. We've taken you inside the theater, but also want to talk about the permanent exhibits that will be here and the traveling exhibits. There is a lot to see, and Scott Osborne is the exhibit director here, and he can tell us best about what kinds of things we'll be seeing. Scott, we loved seeing the dinosaurs earlier. That's, of course, the big splashy new the traveling exhibit that we've got here. It has got an amazing success story.
Yes, it's played many museums across the country with great attendance. We've tracked that the way it's been so successful with other museums and decided to bring it here as well for Mobile to see.
I guess the most recent stop, or one of the most high-profile stops, was in Fort Worth at the Science Museum there, where we've been talking about the numbers. I thought, what, 300,000 people came to see this thing.
Oh, they had great numbers.
Yeah, we see some of the video there from their display, and again, it is from the movie The Lost World. These are the actual models that were, and the dinosaurs that were on camera in the movie. And what kind of money did this generate for Fort Worth? I've heard some different figures.
Well, we've heard over 2.5 million were generated with the show there within a 6-month period.
Wow.
We're hoping to come close to that.
And it's an impressive display. Again, it's combining not only science, but kind of the flashy, the nature of the Hollywood appeal of the dinosaurs too.
The show compares science with imagination. We have one portion of the exhibit focused on what is known, what the scientists have discovered about dinosaurs, and then the lower portion of the exhibit, the ground floor, focuses on the movie production, the imaginative versions of what we've done with what we know about dinosaurs.
And there we see the upper story there of the exhibit here in Mobile, with our live camera there. And tell us also, Scott, I mean, I know these exhibits take a long time to book in advance. Everybody wants this kind of stuff, and certainly this one from this movie. Usually it takes about 2 years in advance to book them.
2 years is usual for booking exhibits of this scope. This one we were fortunate in getting worked out about 6 months back, but that's very unusual.
So you
really
nudged nudged out the competition. What other kinds of things might we see in the traveling exhibits here?
Well, the next show we're planning is on the science of sports. All the techniques involved in sports and how science interacts and the advantages of the use of science within sports.
I'm sure that will have a lot of appeal, especially for kids around here, sports loving. And also been some talk, I know one of the big exhibits traveling right now is the Mir space station. Tell us about that.
Well, the Mir space station full-scale mock-up is out available, and we're in negotiations now to bring that to Mobile.
In anxious negotiations.
Always.
Great. Oh, that will be wonderful.
That's
How
a
long
big
will
part of the exhibit programs.
Yeah, it's talking. You got to stay in constant contact. How long will the dinosaurs be here?
We're expecting this one to stay around through February 16, and then we'll have the science of sports through June, until June.
Until June. All right, a lot to see down here. A lot of folks, again, may not remember that there are traveling exhibits. There's so much to see, the science, and of course, the permanent science museum, which is the Exploreum, the hands-on museum, and really geared for kids of all ages. That's where we find Don this morning, too. Don, what you gotten into now?
Kids of all ages, huh? Pulley power, that's what they're calling this one here. The sign says you can perform unbelievable feats of strength as you attempt to lift yourself up with pulleys. Pretty interesting contraption there. We'll have to play with that in just a few minutes. We are in the hands-on area, and this is the permanent exhibit space, and the kids can come down here with their adults, and they bring them in and get their hands on all kinds of incredible science experience. A lot of fun there. In fact, Veronica Griffin will be here in just a few minutes, and she'll tell you more about that. But we need to talk about the weather right now. If you're getting up and out of bed and out the door in just a few minutes, you need to know that there is a little bit of patchy fog in some areas. Most of that has burned off right now, I understand, but in some places it's still going to be a problem for you. No rain, it's dry. Yesterday morning, really bad with some heavy downpours. The rain has diminished in the area. In fact, yesterday ending in the afternoon hours, and right now we are high and dry. Not a problem, not a factor for you at all. It does look like today we're going to see temperatures climbing into the mid-80s, and it should be a pretty nice day for everybody along the Gulf Coast. You're going to see that typical late summer, early fall mix of clouds and sunshine, and just about a 30% chance of rainfall. Again, high temperatures ranging from 82 to 88 degrees with the southeast wind at roughly 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy, about a 40% chance of rainfall. You may need to go ahead and toss the umbrella into the back seat of your car in case you need it this afternoon or this evening if you're going to be out and about. 72 to 75. What about Wednesday? A few sprinkles here and there, then clearing up a little bit by Thursday into Friday and Saturday. I wish I could tell you a cold front was coming through to cool us down, but it is not going to happen. We're going to stay in the mid to upper 80s. It's going to be hot, hazy, and humid throughout the entire period. So it probably will be Thanksgiving before we get that cold front to cool us down just a little bit. Again, we are live at the foot of Government Street and Water at the brand new Exploreum Museum of Science and the IMAX Dome Theater in the hands-on area. As we told you, Veronica Griffin will be here in just a few minutes to play around just a little bit. Some playtime coming up on Good Day Gulf Coast.
Good day, Gulf Coast. I'm Veronica Griffin, live at the Exploreum Museum of Science. We're here at the hands-on hall. I'm joined with Scott Osborne. Now, Scott, a lot of people are going to come out here. They're going to see this new fancy building, but there's actually a lot of history.
Well, this is the old part of the building. This is the old Matt Sloan Fire Station that we've renovated to become part of our project. This building dates to the early 1800s. It was made into a fire station around the turn of the century. And we're very pleased that it's become the beautiful structure it is, and that it
Now,
has
looking back
become
here,
again.
sorry about that. Looking here at these huge and massive doors now, are the original doors from the fire station?
Yes, even the beautiful, massive hardware you see on here is part of the original. We've had to duplicate a couple of doors to bring it back to the 5 that were here in the days that it was a fire station.
Now I see there's a fireman pole just over here. Is that the original fire pole?
Well, the pole itself is not original, but that's the location. The opening to the sleeping quarters overhead is as it was, and the firemen would use the pole to shimmy down to, in an emergency, to get to their trucks.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Osborne. Now I'm going to make my way over to some of the good stuff. Not that that's not good, but some of the hands-on stuff. Now we're back here with Charlie Shaw. Charlie, what are you working on?
Well, I'm using one of our computer reveals to learn a little bit more about how some everyday items work. Here is an explanation of how your microwave oven operates and why it makes your food warm.
It's more than just putting in the chicken and pressing on.
Pressing the button. You can actually understand how it works.
Okay, Charlie, how about let's look at some of the other exhibits here. And I know this exhibit that we're going to look at over here, you were telling me that it's an adult version of this magnetic tool over here.
It uses the same technology as the hot plate exhibit. It's actually the parent to that exhibit, but it can sort of speak for itself. It's called the dancing trees, and the little trees.
Let me step out of the way here. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at that.
Again, it takes the technology of the hot plates, which the visitor has access to, and it just presents it in a different way. This is a good exhibit. There's something for everyone here.
Okay, thank you very much, Charlie. Now, when we come back, we're going to show you some of those interesting rides that Don was talking about earlier when he was doing the weather. Good Day Gulf Coast will continue in just a moment.
Undefeated Minnesota met head-to-head against 4-0 Green Bay Packers at Lambeau on Monday Night Football. The Packers won 30 consecutive home games, one shy of an NFL record. The Vikings not only are perfect through the regular season, they're also perfect in the preseason. Someone would have to get early in the second quarter, tied at 1. Randall Cunningham finds Jake the Snake Reed for the 56-yard touchdown. It's 10-3 Vikes. Pax would tie it off the kickoff return for 101 yards. Randall gets tired of that real quick, so he hooks up with Randy Moss. Watch this catch. Give me that ball. I'll step over. I'm in the end zone, baby. Randy Moss for the 52-yard touchdown. Cunningham, 4 TDs, 442 yards. All Vikes, 37-24. They snapped the Pack's home win streak and remain undefeated at 5-0. In Big D, quarterback Troy Aikman will watch his Dallas Cowboys play the Carolina Panthers this Sunday from the sidelines. Aikman's been healing his collarbone, which he separated in Week 2. The boys will go with backup Jason Garrett in Aikman's place. Another quarterback which may watch from the sidelines is Raiders QB Jeff George. George is tending a groin injury in last Sunday's game against Phoenix. Team doctors say he's questionable for next week's game. It looks like the NBA boys may never play. No Michael Jordan, no Patrick Ewing. The entire NBA exhibition season is canceled. Talks between the league and the players are going nowhere, and the league says they'll decide next week if they'll have to cancel their regular season as well. The National League Championship begins Wednesday night between the San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves in ATL. The Braves winning will be easy. Get at Pod ace Kevin Brown. They also think they can shut down the Pod's big bats.
Not a lot you can do. Just hope he makes a couple mistakes over the middle of the plate and some guys make him pay for it. He's awfully nasty. He's one of the toughest competitors, in the National League as well. So it's going to be a tall task, but we're playing well right now, and we got to be up to it.
They're a club that's not going to miss too many mistakes. Houston pitched them extremely well, and the only frustrating thing for me is they shut them down. And you'd like to think that they're going to, it's hard to shut a team down for a long period of time. So I'm going to have to make a lot of good pitches. I don't think shutouts or 1 or 2 runs, you just have to limit the amount of runs that they can give, that they could possibly maximize.
Only here can you watch the Cleveland Indians face the Yankees for Game 1 of the American League Championship in Uptown. The Tribe keeping their starting pitching on the DL, or the down low. But for the Bronx Bombers, no secret. They go with David Wells.
And I know I had mentioned this before, but I've complimented him on some games they didn't necessarily get a decision because of the way he kept us in the game for 6, 7, 8 innings. I just think he's a tougher pitcher right now.
I think the key to any game is go out there and get ahead in the count. And I think that's what we proved with Texas. We went out there, we threw strikes and made things happen. And they could be beat. Anybody can be beat. But I think that for us, we just got to pitch to their weakness.
And the Tribe and the Yanks begin at 7 p.m. tonight.
And, of course, we now know that listening to Rob, DL means down low, and ATL has to be abbreviation for Atlanta.
That's right.
All right. Good Day Gulf Coast climbs Mount Everest. We're back live inside Mobile's brand new IMAX Dome Theater. You've got the best seat in the house. This is Good Day Gulf Coast.
We're watching some of the amazing scenes there from Everest, which will be the premiere film here at the new Mobile IMAX domed theater. We're going to give you kind of a taste of what it was like filming that movie, what it was like being on that expedition. Don is going to be our guinea pig this morning. Down here below, if we can show him, he's gearing up in some of the actual Polar Tech gear that some of the climbers wore on that expedition or would have worn. There we go. Now, Don is going to be also carrying, it is a kind of a model of the actual IMAX camera that was carried on the expedition. One camera that I asked how much it cost, they said lots, and it's interesting to note here, this camera, they had to make a special camera for this climb and for this amazing attempt at filming the climb of Mount Everest. The actual IMAX cameras usually weigh about 80 pounds. They created one to weigh only about 40 using some titanium and plastic and other lighter materials. And so Don's showing, now this is really misleading because Don has summited here with such ease, with not even a Sherpa to carry any of his gear.
My Sherpa stayed
All right,
down
Don, you've reached the summit. Do you have any words of achievement here?
Fortunately, this is filled with paper, and this is
plastic.
Does not weigh the 40 pounds that the real one does, but I can only imagine with all this Polar Tech gear, and they really didn't even suit me up. Excuse me here as I set this down.
This is Chris Appleton, by the way, who is the projectionist here. He runs this and runs the camera on air. But these IMAX cameras, Chris, you said they're so expensive, and they had to create a special one to film this.
They sure did. The weight was a major factor in the camera just because of the altitude. They weren't able to carry the full 98-pound IMAX camera to the summit, as well as just the cold, 100 below zero. Some of these temperatures would cause the original metals to contract too much and bind up the film mechanisms.
Also, the amount of film they had to carry amazes me when you consider 2.5 miles of film it took to even film this.
Right, and the camera only holds about 90 seconds worth of film, so imagine trying to load that with gloved fingers and changing it out every shot.
Right, they had to really plan their shots carefully, I understand, and be real careful. They couldn't overshoot or undershoot. Every frame had to count for something.
Edit in camera, as Al Tuggle would say.
Absolutely. That's one of the drawbacks, I guess, of the IMAX format is you have to really pick your shots because the film is so expensive to shoot with. You don't have the luxury of going back to an editing studio to pick the great shots. You've got to make sure every shot is a perfect shot.
And again, this camera that we saw here was just kind of a mock-up of what they actually carried.
Absolutely.
But what they carried was still 40 pounds.
Right. It's still heavy in that state, but I can only imagine, especially with all the conditions they had to face. Tell us about the theater here. What an incredible place, the dome. And
I'm going to ask the dummy question here, too. I mean, about how do we project an image like this onto the screen? Is it several cameras? Is it one camera, one lens? Tell us about that.
Well, it's one projector with one lens that we use a fisheye lens that fills almost the entire dome.
And the fisheye we should mention is right here underneath what they call the doghouse here, right?
Right. You saw the projection equipment downstairs, and the projector actually rides up the elevator and will come into this housing here, and only the lens will enter the theater, and that keeps all the noise downstairs in the projection booth.
It's a great way to do that. Tell us about the size of the film. I understand each frame of film is the size of a card, like a deck of cards?
Absolutely. It's about 10 times larger than what you would see at the conventional movie theater. The conventional theater, one frame of film is about the size of a postage stamp, and here our frame is about the size of a playing card.
So 2.5 miles of film, that's phenomenal. That's the average for every feature, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it takes 2 people to put this film on the air every time it runs?
Absolutely. We have one person downstairs operating all the equipment, and then we have another person inside the theater monitoring the show for the proper sound levels and also making sure the image is of the quality we expect.
I can only imagine a little bit of nervousness before opening night. How many run-throughs will you do to make sure when the lights go down, the movie comes up?
Well, there'll be countless, but we're going to make sure it's perfect before Saturday.
You don't want anybody throwing popcorn at the projectionist in here.
Absolutely not.
It would be a big waste not to have a seat. Let's all take a seat here. And
Great.
These seats are really fine. I mean,
They're very comfortable, Chris.
The idea here is to lean back and look up.
Absolutely. Each seat has a specified angle that it leans back so to make sure that every seat is the best seat in the house.
Where's yours?
Mine is anywhere in the house.
Downstairs or in the back.
Have you kind of sat in here yourself and just run the movie every once in a while?
Every now and then we'll do that to come in and do some checks. And it's still, I've been doing this a little over 8 years now, and it's still just awe-inspiring for me to watch some of these films.
All right, Don, you have summited Again,
I really got to tell you, the Polar Tech equipment, the gear, the layers of clothing, when you see the picture and you realize what it took to actually bring this to the IMAX format, it is amazing. And that's the only word I can think of is amazing.
it is awe-inspiring. Chris Appleton, thanks for being with us. Our projectionist here with our best seat in the house, and much more to come. Coming up on Good Day Gulf Coast, we'll also have a fresh look at your headlines. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
And it's edging up on 7:33. Let's take another quick look at what's making Good Day Gulf Coast headlines this morning. First, President Clinton could soon face impeachment proceedings. Monday night, House Judiciary Committee pushes through a plan for an open-ended inquiry of the president. GOP leadership says it found 15 possible reasons for removing Mr. Clinton from office. The full House expected to vote later this week on whether to launch the inquiry. And a Kentucky teenager could face life in prison. Monday, 15-year-old Michael Carrol entered a plea of guilty but mentally ill to charges he gunned down schoolmates during a prayer session last December. 3 people were killed, 5 others injured. Under a plea bargain, Carrol faces a maximum of life in prison with no chance of parole until he is 40. Defense attorneys claim Carrol suffers from paranoia and a split personality. The FBI has arrested the man accused of kidnapping his malnourished toddler from a Utah hospital. Investigators say 23-year-old Christopher Fink, his wife, son David, and a newborn were found in a remote section of Montana after more than 2 weeks on the run. 19-month-old David weighed just 16 pounds at the time of his abduction, which is the average size of a 6-month-old. Detectives say the toddler had been fed only watermelon and lettuce by his parents, who believed the diet would keep him pure. The toddler and newborn were taken to a Montana hospital when they were found, and they are said to be in satisfactory condition. Time now to check in with Anissa Centers for a preview of the stories we're working on for the early news. Anissa?
Well, good day, Gulf Coast. Jury selection is set to begin this morning for the man accused of killing 2 convenience store workers in Baldwin County. We'll have coverage of the stalwart trial today, so join us right here on Fox 10 Action News. That's at 5, 6, and 10 p.m.
And Good Day Gulf Coast wants you to break the ice. We're live again next Tuesday, center ice with the Mystics. Swing the stick and score a seat in our live studio audience. Caller number 10 wins 4 tickets. More details to come, and we'll be back in 2.
Good day, Gulf Coast. I'm Veronica, Griffin, live at the Exploreum Museum of Science in the hands-on hall. I'm joined by Charlie Shaw again. Charlie, explain this instrument here.
Well, this is the lariat chain, and it's a hands-on exhibit that is a demonstration of how waves would propagate in a system. And it's kind of a playful thing that the children seem to enjoy, and there's something here for the adults also.
Charlie, why is there such a need for this hands-on science that we have here today?
Well, I think the American people in general are intimidated by science, and by showing them that science can be fun and it's really not such a scary thing after all, it helps everyone.
Now, are you guys targeting any particular age group?
Well, we try to make sure that there's something for all age groups in each exhibit. We don't always accomplish that, but that's our target.
Okay, let's take a step over here to the pulleys. Can you explain this exhibit to me?
Well, this is a demonstration of how pulleys can be used to gain mechanical advantage. And each exhibit has a different set of pulleys, which makes it easier or harder to raise yourself.
It takes a lot of energy. I guess you're pulling your own weight. Now, I noticed I kind of cheated. I have four pulley wheels, and you have 2, which makes it a little bit easier for me.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to return in just a moment. Don and Amy will have a lot more coming up on Good Day Gulf Coast in just a moment.
And welcome back to Good Day Gulf Coast, everybody. We are standing tooth to tooth to the mighty T-Rex here. Take a look at this guy. Pretty mean character, of course. This one comes to us from the film The Lost World and the blockbuster Jurassic Park. We are in the temporary exhibit space at the Exploreum Museum of Science, and we're going to give you another taste of all the dinosaurs here on this incredible traveling exhibit. A lot to see here. We do want to talk about the weather first up, if we can, and let you know what's going to happen today if you may be running out the door in just a few minutes. We did have some reports of patchy fog this morning. Most of that is history. Most of it has burned off, thank goodness, and really not going to be worrying about much rainfall today as well. I think the radar picture will stay pretty dry for the next, for the next couple of hours. It may be midday or the afternoon before we see any widely scattered showers or thunderstorms. As far as your forecast is concerned, again today, that typical mix of sunshine and clouds that we see this time of year, about a 30% chance of rainfall, 82 to 88 degrees with the southeast wind at about 5 to 10. Tonight, mostly cloudy, about a 40% chance of rain. Our rain chance slightly increasing tonight. The temperatures will be in the mid-70s with the southeast wind at 5 to 10. The next couple of days, well, if you live on the coastal sections, the coastal counties from Mississippi all the way into northwest Florida, a pretty good chance of isolated showers as we keep that south wind. For the inland areas on up into Clark, Monroe, Conecuh, Escambia counties in Alabama, and like George County in Mississippi, you're going to be partly cloudy and a less chance of rainfall there with temperatures in the mid-80s to upper 80s. So the heat is here with us. It is on, and it is going to stay. And in just a minute, we will be back with more of the dinosaurs, like this one right there, Velociraptor, live from downtown Mobile. You're watching Good Day Gulf Coast.
You look pretty scary.
Looking good. You never look better.
You look like you just woke up.
We want to get you back for that.
But anyway, Stegosaurus here. We want to congratulate our winners today. We want to say congratulations to Wanda Berryhill
and Judy Dees. And they are picking up a great Everest hat. Aren't these cool?
They are.
And they come from Polar Tech. Also, the cool
audio
stuffed
included,
animal, audio
dinosaurs.
included. That's right. These are great.
Yeah, they are pretty
Tyrannosaurus
cool.
Rex, also the Stegosaurus. And again, we're back here in the wonderful new Lost World dinosaur exhibit, one of those traveling exhibits that you'll be seeing here at the Exploreum Museum.
Yeah, Ted, take a look at the Velociraptor there. I know a lot of folks may remember that one from the movie, and that was one of the most frightening creatures, I think, in the entire film.
It really was.
And you got to see it up close to really appreciate it.
And again, some of the things we've picked up learning today, that Spielberg created this. This was actually on screen. That's not a model now. That was actually on camera.
Right.
And he created that. That's probably around 5 or 6 times the actual size, maybe 10 times the actual size of the real Velociraptor. A little bit of Hollywood there.
Yeah, just kind of beefing it up a
They were
little.
actually tiny little creatures.
But they were still mean.
Still mean,
that's what
still
counts.
frightening.
Charlene Patterson is going to join us
Come on,
here,
Charlene.
and she's going to tell us about an incredible contest that Fox 10 is sponsoring called the Lost World Premiere Party. Thanks for stepping back in here. Tell us all about the contest and the promotion.
Well, our winners will have a special presentation of the movie right here in the Gulf Coast Exploreum, which is going to make it a Hollywood experience. And so we're going to have 3 groups of 30 that will come here and enjoy and have a little refreshments and actually see the movie on a big screen. It is
HD TV.
I know, and we don't have very many of those around, so it's going to be a fantastic experience. Plus, the sound is incredible.
So 3 grand prize winners, and each gets to invite 30 of their closest friends.
Their closest and
How
dearest
fun.
friends
Okay.
that they want to share this
All
with.
I don't think people would invite people they didn't like, so, but anyway.
But also
we need
lots
to-
of giveaways, too. We'll be having lots of
Yes.
neat merchandise associated with the dinosaurs. And speaking of that, you saw the masks there a minute ago, but also you've got lots of other neat things people can take home from this exhibit.
Oh, yes. We have got all kinds of dinosaurs. We have things that roar and groan and scare you.
And they're putting together the merchandise area right now, so it looks kind of bare, but there are a lot of little dinosaurs and a great educational experience, and that is your focus, isn't it?
That's exactly right. What we do is we want to excite people and have them eager to learn about all the details and take it home and really research it and learn more.
So every exhibit will definitely have that hard, I guess, the science angle to it, something to really learn, not
Well,
just enjoy.
That's what our mission is, and is turn on to science. And that's what we're trying to do, is turn everyone on to science, whether it's a child or an adult. It's never too late to learn.
I know, I'm learning.
We've learned a lot
great.
this morning, and your opening is set for October 10th.
That's right. It's Saturday, and that's real soon.
George did not have, George could not, was no match for the dinosaurs.
No, the building held up well, and we are ready to roll.
All right, sounds great. And you're open daily starting October 10th. What are your hours? And give us an idea as far as prices are concerned. Say, if a family of 4 wanted to come see the exhibit space, the hands-on, the traveling exhibit, Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs, and the movie.
The whole banana.
The whole banana, the whole enchilada would be about $36. And that is a real value because each one of our venues is about an hour and a half experience. And so that's 4 hours. 4 hours of fun for $36.
So a great Saturday or Sunday afternoon thing to do?
Oh, it's terrific.
Okay.
And we open at 9 o'clock, and on Friday and Saturday we stay open until 9 o'clock at night.
7 days a week, Charlene?
7 days a week. We're here every day.
And the movie itself, running, I guess, every hour during your the hours that you're open?
Yes, we're running every hour on the hour. As long as, people are there, we're going to show it.
One thing we didn't mention, too, are the concessions here. You'll have a little restaurant, little cafe there. Carpe Diem is bringing that.
And we're real excited about that. That was a real coup to have them here. And it's not just for adults. They have tailored their menus so that children have little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches without crust, of course, and granitas.
All that important stuff.
All right, all the
Really
details,
important
details.
Yeah, so we're real excited about having them here, too.
All right.
It's
Well,
gonna be
the
a full
contest is the Lost World Premiere Party. It is sponsored by Fox 10, Fox Network, of course, premiering the Lost World November 1st.
On
and
Fox.
you need to start sending in postcards to us to Good Day Gulf Coast, and you'll see the address in just a few moments, but you should know it by heart by now. P.O. Box 1548, 36633. We'll start choosing winners and our grand prize winners toward the end of the month.
So start thinking about your 30 closest friends and win here on Fox 10.
30 is a big number, isn't it?
I think I could find some.
I think we could too.
We'll be
Stay
right
with
back.
us.
Good morning. The 4-0 Minnesota Vikings met head-to-head against the 4-0 Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field for Monday Night Football. The Packers have won 30 consecutive home games, one shy of an NFL record. The Vikings not only are perfect through the regular season, they're also perfect through the preseason. That's what happens when you get bought by a Texas billionaire. Early in the second quarter, tied at 3, Randall Cunningham finds Jake Reed for the 56-yard touchdown, 10-3 Vikes. Pack would tie it on an ensuing kickoff, but Randall gets tired of the tie game, so he hooks up with Moss Man. Not that He-Man action figure you used to play with, kids. Randy Moss for the 52-yard strike. Cunningham had 4 TDs, 442 yards, all Vikes, 37-24. They snapped the Pack's home win streak and remain undefeated at 5-0. And Big D quarterback Troy Aikman will watch his Dallas Cowboys play the Carolina Panthers this Sunday from the sidelines. Aikman's been healing his collarbone, which he separated in week 2. The boys will go with backup Jason Garrett in Aikman's place. Another quarterback who may watch from the sidelines is Oakland Raiders QB Jeff George. George is tending a groin injury in last Sunday's game against Phoenix. The doctors say he is questionable for next week's game. All right, to the NBA. It looks like the boys will never play. No Michael Jordan, no Patrick Ewing. The entire NBA exhibition season is canceled. Talks between the league and the players are going nowhere, and the league says they'll decide next week if they'll have to cancel the regular season as well. The National League Championship begins Wednesday night between the San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves. The Braves winning will be easy. Get at Pod ace Kevin Brown. They also think they can shut down the Pod's big bats.
Not a lot you can do. Just hope he makes a couple mistakes over the middle of the plate and some guys make him pay for it. He's awfully nasty. He's one of the toughest competitors, in the National League as well. So it's going to be a tall task, but we're playing well right now, and we got to be up to it.
They're a club that's not going to miss too many mistakes. Houston pitched them extremely well, and the only frustrating thing for me is they shut them down. And you'd like to think that they're going to, it's hard to shut a team down for a long period of time. So I'm going to have to make a lot of good pitches. I don't think shutouts or 1 or 2 runs. You just have to limit the amount of runs that they can give that they could possibly maximize.
Only here can you watch the Cleveland Indians face the Yankees for Game 1 of the American League Championship in Uptown. The Tribe keeping their starting pitching on the DL. That's down low if you didn't know. But for the Bronx Bombers, no secret. They go with David Wells.
And I know I had mentioned this before, but I've complimented him on some games they didn't necessarily get a decision because of the way he kept us in the game for 6, 7, 8 innings. I just think he's a tougher pitcher right now.
I think the key to any game is go out there and get ahead in the count. And I think that's what we proved with Texas. We went out there, we threw strikes and made things happen. And you know, they could be beat. Anybody can be beat. But I think that for us, we just got to pitch to their weakness.
All right, game time's at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll be right back after this.
All right, we're going to wrap things up here and say goodbye at the Gulf Coast Exploreum and
Science
IMAX,
Museum.
Yes, Science Museum and IMAX Dome Theater.
That's right. It's a mouthful. There's a lot to do here.
There's a lot to do.
A lot going on.
We are in front of one of these incredible, I think it's a stegosaurus.
We have learned a lot today.
Veronica's going to attempt the slide.
Actually, a slide. So, Veronica, this is her final hands-on experiment of the day. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen.
Ouch.
She is our hands-on woman.
Good job.
Very
you
good.
are a trooper. We appreciate that.
And of course, the slide is part of this little area, the Dinosaur Theater, which we haven't even mentioned, a place for kids to come and learn and see some other exhibits and actually learn about science and things.
Yes.
So kids can see this and, of course, the dinos and so much more. They're going to have a great time.
They are. What do you think about all this?
It's been a blast.
It has been a lot of fun.
I mean,
It really
kids of
has.
all ages. I mean, it's something for everyone, definitely a family treat, and something Mobile can really, really be proud of.
And our thanks to the staff here at the Exploreum for helping us out and put all this together. And we can hear the Jurassic Park music, the Lost World music playing in the background. Such high drama on this Tuesday
Mobile
morning.
discovers the Lost World coming up October the 10th. We appreciate all of you joining us today. It's been a lot of fun, and also the staff, like Don mentioned, for rolling out the red carpet for us here.
Yeah, good job back on the hands-on. A lot of fun, wasn't it?
Thanks, guys.
We put you to work. You didn't realize what you were in for today, did you? Good job.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Make it a great day. We hope to see you here bright and early tomorrow morning.
We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.